Okay, we're just gonna deal with the fact that the room is lit better than I am, and just accept the fact that for now I am a member of the Blue Man Group. But hi, slightly different setup, slightly different angle because I am working off of the laptop, my Dell Latitude, my old like 2015 model, I think. It's an old E5530, if I remember correctly. But yeah, no, I might sound a teensy bit echoey because we're using a different mic. Going back to the other mic because the other one is by the one I usually use is on the all-in-one. But hi, today I want to talk about books because while I am an author, I am also a reader. So it's kind of, I don't know if this counts as like a return to reading or a Chrissy Tina talks, but you know what? Let's stick with it being a mix of both because I have been reading a lot lately. I am a mood reader and a slow reader, so I kind of cycle through things. But lately I've been reading Brimstone by Callie Hart. And initially I was suckered into the book through one of the hardcover copies that I had initially had no intention of getting because the price. And keep in mind, as of recording it is still on discount, so it's not even the full price. But the copy I was looking at is $22. And at full price, it's like $33. But it got me thinking, because I ended up going with the ebook to start out, and then the more I started reading it and enjoying it, then I was just like, okay, I will treat myself to it while it's still on discount. The more I started just debating on whether or not to get the hardcover, it got me thinking about the release in general, because it's not just like, oh, you get the standard hardcover and a paperback to start off, and then like a year later you get, or even just like a few months after you get the special editions. Like this is all at the same time. The standard edition. I think there's a Target exclusive. There's the special edition with the, I don't know if it's real or faux gilded edges, but that's the one that suckered me in. But it's all released at the same time, and it all is relatively pricey. And I mean, I know inflation, everything is raising in price and capitalism, but it really got me thinking about whether or not reading has become or started to become more of a luxury because it's focusing more on the collector side of things and not necessarily, or at least not completely, the average reader side of things. Because again, okay, in my defense, when I started, I didn't realize it was part of a series because I had never read Quicksilver before. I am the person that will read series out of order because honestly, you should be able to read a series out of order and be perfectly fine no matter where you pick it up. I still ended up reading Quicksilver alongside of it and I love it, but maybe I don't know. I feel like even with an established fan base, that still doesn't completely justify multiple editions of the same book. One with bonus chapters that apparently are important to the book, but they are free on the author's website. It's just I feel like if it's important to the book, it should have been in the book to begin with. But side tangent. But even with like Fourth Wing back there, yeah, even with Fourth Wing, it's like those were still released between different months. It wasn't all at the same time. And even then, I don't remember the price being that bad or that expensive, because even the audiobook for Brimstone, looking at that, that was like $30. I mean, I know making an audiobook and everything that goes into it isn't cheap, but at the same time, the way it's been is typically the audiobook and ebook are slightly more affordable. They are more ease of access. Again, that's why I ended up going with the ebook for Brimstone first, because I could afford it. It really got me thinking more about whether or not this kind of ties into what people are calling like the hobbification or the hobbification. Sounds like turning into a hobbit, but the sort of maybe trendification of hobbies where it's starting to be treated more like a luxury and a selling point rather than the hobby it is. And I can't help but wonder if I'm just noticing it more now with Brimstone because of the price of everything. Because again, right now, as we're recording this, the books are in discount, except for the standard edition, which is, compared to the discount, more expensive than the special editions, which makes no sense to me, because you would think all of them would be equally discounted to start off. But I think there's something about the fact that it's all released at the same time, and you have people being like, oh, well, the one with the bonus chapters, like, these are important bonus chapters that are actually integral to the story and are actually important, which is why they're also on the author's website. But again, they should be also in the book to begin with. But again, it's a side tangent for a different video where I can talk about bonus content. But then it's just like, you have like the art and everything in the version with the gilded edges, and then there's also things about, like, apparently the ebook has some things that are fixed compared to the physical copies, which then makes me wonder, why was it all released at the same time if there were things that needed to obviously be fixed and that could very easily be fixed in the ebook. And it feels like consumption core and capitalism really kind of took hold of this, and that's nothing against Callie Hart. It's like, I don't think she really had anything to do with that side of things. But, like, the long and short of it, because I could unnecessarily go on about the same point over and over again for an hour, because I do ramble and stumble over the same exact thought repeatedly. But it really does feel like the release of Brimstone is a perfect example of sort of a trendification and the, I don't know what exactly to call it, but the sort of trend, I guess, of seeing hobbies turned into something that's more like a collector base. And that's the thing, even with Fourth Wing and like Onyx Storm and just all of the sequels, just I'm actually getting rid of one of those, but even with that, again, it wasn't all released at the same time. It was released in different stages. And granted, it didn't have the smoothest release, because, I feel like with the more years go on, the more we're seeing sort of like a push for books to be released sooner, which is then where you see like the misprints, the inconsistencies between the ebook and the physical copies. And it's just, I feel like we need to slow it down. We need to bring it back to just standard editions first, even if it's a pre-existing series and people are excited for the second book, because let people take it in first. Let people just see if they like the book, and then release a special edition or two. Because it really does feel like this release specifically does make it very obvious that there is a change in how book releases are going, and it is kind of leading more towards consumption core, I'm going to call it, and versus actually enjoying reading and wanting to enjoy and read the sequel of this book that I like. Because especially going back to like the price of, say, the audiobook, which is $30, or at least it is at the time of recording this, if I remember correctly. But audiobooks are something people use and read because, say, they have a disability where they can't read a physical copy of a book, or just even just someone who doesn't have the time to really just sit down and read a book and prefers audiobooks. It used to be something that's easier to access. And part of that was the price. And again, I get that a lot goes into audiobooks and the casting and everything, but when the audiobook is just as expensive as like one of the special edition hardcovers, and kind of makes the ebook seem like the only accessible option, is a little concerning. And it really does kind of point out more of this like flaw in seeing consume. Is it consumerism? I'm just gonna keep calling consumption core because that's easier. Because I don't know what else to call it right now, at least as of recording this. But it is becoming more obvious that there is more of a push for sort of banking on the fact that this is something people enjoy and really wanting to make the most out of it. And it's almost like taking advantage of the fact that it's a big series, or at least started off gaining a very big following. Because again, Brimstone is the second book. It's the second book. There is a third one on the way next year, and I am excited for that. But even just like looking at debut novels, because you see them pop up all the time on like related searches when shopping for books online, and debut novels can't just be a standard edition anymore. It's like there really does seem to be this push for it to be a collector item with like the sprayed edges or art, or like intricate art on the edges, additional illustrations and character art and everything. It really feels like the debut has to be a special edition. And maybe I'm just stuck in an old way of thinking when it comes to books, where it's just like, oh yeah, no, it's like there should be a standard edition first, and then like a year later, once it's gained more of a following, that's when you should get the special editions and all of that. But it really does feel like there's more of a push for it to be a collectible versus something you are going to read. Because I'm going to be honest, I look at some of those books and be like, I am afraid I'm going to ruin those edges if I get those books. Because it's just like the art on some of them, like some of them have like full like detailed illustrations on the sides of the pages. And I'm just like, I am afraid if I open this book, I am going to ruin it. And it feels like it is purely for display and not for reading. And it just feels awkward. And I want to be able to enjoy the book, but also not want to destroy it. And just, I struggle with ebooks, which is why I'm amazed that I'm even attempting it with Quicksilver and Brimstone. I still ended up getting a physical copy of each because Quicksilver was cheap, and Brimstone, I still had to really push myself to get it. That is an early Christmas present to myself. But again, I also just couldn't initially justify the price because I wasn't originally invested in the world of Quicksilver, because I did the thing that I usually do where I unintentionally pick up a book at the second book, or in some cases like the seventh book, which I have done before, and not even realize it's part of a series, and then go back and read the first book. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, I couldn't justify it for myself. Maybe people who were fans of Quicksilver could, but at the same time, just like looking at the prices in general, it's just like, if I don't get this now, looking at the full price, because again, as of recording this, the version I was looking at was $22. Full price is $33. I guarantee the moment it goes full price, had I not gotten the book discounted at the moment, I never would have picked it up. Like, I never would have picked up a physical copy. Like, I could love the book. Like, I could adore it in the ebook and continue to read it on my iPad and my phone. And the moment I even look at the physical copy and see that full price, I'm just like, no, it's not worth it. I could love the book to death and be obsessed with it, but you would have to literally twist my arm to get it at full price. Like, once you start getting past like low 20s for a price point, I'm not interested. The Target edition, which is like $28 right now as of recording this, I can read the bonus content, the bonus chapters on Kelly Hart's website. Like, I feel like this need for there to be multiple collector's editions, it really is this consumption core. It really is this focus on books becoming collectibles rather than something to enjoy by reading. Because I mean, you can't enjoy a collectible. I have plenty of collectibles in my room. Like that is something I have purchased throughout the years. But like, there's a difference in getting a book for display versus to enjoy purely for looks and enjoying reading. And I feel like the way releases are leaning now, it's leaning more towards display versus reading. I hope this video had a point, or at least I hope some points were cohesive, because I don't really know how cohesive this is. I know I kind of just went on a whole ramble and rant that probably looped a handful of times, but I hope it makes sense. So, yeah, that was Chrissy Tina Talks? Chrissy Tina Talks. Let's just make it Chrissy Tina Talks. You'll probably already know which one is going to be, either Chrissy Tina Talks or Return to Reading. But if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. I have no set schedule for uploading videos, so hit the notification bell if you want to see more and be updated on when I upload. I'm going to try to do more shorts. I'm going to try. I'm bad at doing that, but I'm attempting. I'm doing my best. Did I say subscribe? Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to get to other content I'm working on, other projects and things, and I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that is.